Hi everyone! Here's a step-by-step guide on how to grow anemones in cold climates. Generally, gardeners in zones 7 and warmer can plant anemone corms in the fall. However, gardeners like myself in zone 6 and colder will have the best success rate planting anemones in the late winter or very early spring. Ideally, they should be planted at the same time as hardy annuals. So aim to soak and pre-sprout the corms 8 weeks before your last expected frost, so you can plant them out into the garden 6 weeks before your last expected frost. We'll begin the growing process by soaking the anemone corms. Anemone corms are shipped in a dry and dormant state, and soaking essentially wakes them up. Fill a bucket or jar with room temperature water and soak the corms for 4 hours. During this time, keep the water fresh by changing it every hour. After 4 hours, you'll notice that the corms have expanded slightly. They will still look wrinkly and will not expand as much as a ranunculus corm, but this is normal. After soaking, you can get a jump start on the season by pre-sprouting the anemone corms inside. Pre-sprouting inside is the equivalent of starting seeds inside versus planting a seed directly into the garden. This step is optional, and if you prefer to plant the soaked corms directly into the garden, they will still grow and bloom. To pre-sprout anemone corms, fill a watertight, flat-bottom tray with 2 inches of lightly moistened, high-quality potting soil. Then place the soaked corms onto the soil with the pointy side down and cover them with 1 inch of lightly moistened potting soil. You can place the corms very close together since they'll only be in this tray for a few weeks. Next, place the tray in a cool, dark area with an ideal temperature of 50 degrees Fahrenheit for 2 to 3 weeks. An unheated basement or cool closet is an ideal location for pre-sprouting. During this time in darkness, keep the soil slightly moist and check the corms often. Immediately discard any that are rotten or moldy. Moldy corms signal an environment that is too humid or soil that is too wet. However, if corms fail to develop roots after 2 to 3 weeks, the soil is likely too dry or the environment is too warm. After 2 to 3 weeks in this dark, cool place, the corms will have developed roots and small white shoots. This is when they should be planted out into the garden. Anemones grow best in full sun and rich, well-draining soil. They prefer cool nights at 45 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit and sunny days at 60 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Prior to planting, incorporate several inches of compost into the soil. Then plant the pre-sprouted corms 2 inches deep and 6 inches apart. As the anemones grow, keep a close watch on the forecast. If freezing temperatures are expected, cover the planting area with hoops and frost cloth. Then, when temperatures rise above freezing, remove the frost cloth so that it doesn't get too hot under the tunnel. As the plants grow, keep the area weed-free and water as needed to keep the soil moist. Anemones will begin to flower approximately 12 weeks after planting and will continue to flower until the heat of summer causes them to go dormant. Anemones are wonderful cut flowers and will last 7 to 10 days in the vase when harvested at the proper stage. For the longest vase life, harvest anemone flowers when the top leaf collar is 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch down from the flower head. If harvested when the leaf collar is still touching the flower head, it may never open. However, if the flower is fully open, showing pollen, and the leaf collar is very far down on the stem, the vase life may only be a few days. The first cuts from anemones are always shorter than later cuts. However, some anemone varieties are naturally short. Therefore, if you plan to grow anemones for cutting, purchase a taller series such as Jerusalem or Galilee. Anemone corms can be left in the ground to perennialize in zone 7 and warmer. Gardeners in Zone 6 may have varying degrees of success, leaving them in the ground to perennialize. However, it's safest for gardeners in Zone 6 and colder to dig and store the corms until the following year. To do this, allow the plants to die back naturally in the summer. Then remove the dead foliage, dig up the corms, and allow them to dry for a few days. Store them in mesh bags in a dark, dry, room temperature location over the winter. In the late winter or early spring, you can start the growing process again. Well, I sure hope this video on how to grow anemones in cold climates was helpful. Happy gardening! Bye!